Hello, I'm back. I'm back and I'm under a roof now, so I don't have to worry about getting too hot or my phone shorting out or not being able to see your comments. It's still, for some reason, a little bit too bright, but I think I can see your comments. So go ahead and make them. My biggest problem now is that I'm not standing in a den of red ants. Check out this scene, though. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood here on Siesta Key Beach, and it's a great day to go to the beach as everybody has jumped on that bandwagon. You can see all the beach umbrellas. You can see people everywhere. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for my audience to come on, but I have something I want to read to you. So this was sent to me by a friend. And this is written by Major General Higginbotham. So he wrote an editorial. Hi, Annie. Hi, can you hear me okay? I can see you now. Let me know if my sound is good because I got to read you this article. This is a timely editorial that exposes the hidden background of Kamala Harris. People are now calling her Obamala for good reasons. Thank you. Thank you for the sound check. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. So this hidden background of Obamala comes from the Combat Veterans for Congress Political Action Committee that is posted here with permission of the author, Major General Higginbotham of the U.S. Marines. So he writes this. I'm going to put my camera down. Like I said, there's like some ants here, so I'm a little scared of them. And I'll let you guys look. You don't need to look at me. You want to look at the beach, don't you? If I were you, I'd want to look at the beach. Okay. How's that? How's that view? Beautiful, right? Get you a palm tree in there. If you don't get to see palm trees in your life enough. Okay. Yes, of course you want to see the beach, Annie. So, Kamala Harris's father was an avowed Marxist professor in the economics department at Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. Both of Harris's parents were active in the Berkeley-based Afro-American Association. Fidel Castro and Che Guevara were the heroes of the Afro-American Association. The group's leader, Donald Warden, aka Khalid al-Mansur, mentored two young Afro-American Association members, Huey Newton and Bobby Seale. They created the Maoist-inspired Black Panther Party, which gained strong support from Communist China. The Black Panther Party served as the model for creation of the Black Lives Matter Marxist organization. Khalid al-Mansur subsequently went on to arrange financing and facilitated for Barack Hussein Obama to be accepted as a student to matriculate at Harvard Law School. Following her graduation from college, Kamala Harris returned to California and subsequently became the mistress of the 60-year-old married Speaker of the California Assembly, Willie Brown Jr. Brown's political campaigns were supported and funded by Dr. Carlton Goodlett, the owner of the Sun Reporter and several other pro-communist newspapers. Brown was elected as mayor of San Francisco and strongly endorsed Harris's Marxist political philosophy. He guided Harris's political rise in California politics, leading to her election as California's Attorney General. Willie Brown Jr. is a well-known longtime communist sympathizer. Willie Brown Jr. was initially elected to public office with substantial help of the Communist Party USA. Today, Willie Brown is widely regarded as one of the Chinese Communist Party's best friends in the San Francisco Bay Area. While serving as San Francisco District Attorney, Kamala Harris mentored a young San Francisco radical Maoist activist, Latifah Simon, who was a member of the STORM revolutionary movement, otherwise known as STORM. Simon currently chairs the Bay Area Rapid Transit Board, also known as BART. Simon has always been close friends with the founder of Black Lives Matter Marxist domestic terrorists, Alicia Garza, as well as Storm member and avowed communist Van Jones. Harris has been openly and aggressively supporting Black Lives Matter Marxists. Kamala Harris is still closely associated with Maoist Latifah Simon and Marxist Alicia Garza. Kamala Harris's sister, Maya Harris, was a student activist at Stanford University. She was closely associated with Steve Phillips, one of the leading Marxist Leninists on campus, and a longtime affiliate with the League of Revolutionary Struggle, a pro-Chinese communist group. Phillips came out of the left, and in college he studied Marx, Mao, and Lenin, and maintained close associations with fellow communists. Phillips married into the multi-billion-dollar Sandler family of the Golden West Savings and Loan fortune. He funded many leftist political campaigns and the voter registration drives in the southern and southwestern states in order to help his friend, Barack Hussein Obama, defeat Hillary Clinton. Phillips has been a major financial sponsor for Kamala Harris's political campaigns for various California elective offices. Now let's talk about Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, who works for the law firm DLA Piper, which, quote, boasts nearly 30 years of experience in communist China with over 140 lawyers dedicated to its communist China investment services branch. He was just appointed to professor at Yale to school future lawyers in the 5 points of communism. When she was elected to the U.S. Senate, Kamala Harris appointed a pro-communist Senate Chief of Staff, Karine Jean-Pierre. Jean-Pierre was active with the New York-based Haiti Support Network. The organization worked closely with the pro-communist China/communist North Korean Workers' World Party and supported Jean-Bertrand Aristide, the far-left communist former president of Haiti, and the radical Lavalas movement. Fortunately for Harris, but potentially disastrous for the Republic, elected office holders are not subject to the security clearance process. If the FBI did a background investigation on Kamala Harris, she would never have passed because of her 40-year close ties with Marxists, communists, Maoists, and communist China. Harris would never have been approved for acceptance to any of the 5 military service academies, been appointed to a U.S. government sub-cabinet position, or would have been approved to fill a sensitive position for a high-security defense contractor. Yet, since Joe Biden was elected, Harris could be a heartbeat away from being president. And this apparently was written before she became almost more than a heartbeat away. The U.S. constitutional republic is being threatened by the People's Republic of China, the PPC, externally and by their very active espionage operations within the United States. The People's Republic of Communist China, with 1.4 billion people, is governed by the 90 million member Chinese Communist Party, also known as the CCP, that has been working with Russia to destroy the U.S. constitutional republic for over 70 years. If the American voters read the background information in Trevor Loudon's article on Kamala Harris, they would never support her election as Vice President of the United States. Joe Biden is suffering from the early onset of dementia. I think it's late onset at this point, and will continue to decline in cerebral awareness. He will never be able to fill out a 4-year term of office. Since Biden was elected, the socialists, Marxists, and communists who control Kamala Harris are planning to enact provisions of the 25th Amendment in order to remove Joe Biden from office so Harris can become the first communist president of the United States. Since Biden was elected, because Biden would not be up to it, Kamala Harris would lead the effort to appoint very dangerous anti American leftists, communists, socialists, and Marxists to fill highly sensitive positions in the Washington deep state bureaucracy. She would fill all appointed positions in the U.S. intelligence agencies, in the Department of Homeland Security, in the Department of Defense, in the Justice Department, the Department of State, the FBI, the CIA, most cabinet positions, the National Security Council, and in the White House staff. American voters must alert their fellow Americans that Kamala Harris is a very serious national security threat to the very survival of the U.S. constitutional republic. She has been a fellow traveler of Marxists, communists, Maoists, socialists, progressives, and Chinese communists for more than 35 years. President Trump had much more background information on Kamala Harris than we presented here, and he was correct when he accused Kamala Harris of being a communist subverter. Again, this was written by Jeffrey Higginbotham, Major General, USMC, retired. Not sure exactly when he wrote this, but it was before the past week's events of watching the Democrats literally subvert American elections. So now here's another article that I'd like to read to you. Yes, it's like a bad chess match, Barbara, you're right. So this comes from Reuters. The title of this article is Pentagon ran secret anti-vax campaign to undermine China during pandemic. And this came out on June 14th of 2024, but a lot of people have heard about it. So I'm going to read this. It's by Chris Bing and Joel Sheckman. At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, the U.S. military launched a secret campaign to counter what it perceived as China's growing influence in the Philippines, a nation hit especially hard by the deadly virus. The clandestine operation has not been previously reported. It aimed to sow doubt about the safety and efficacy of vaccines and other life-saving aid that was being supplied by China, a Reuters investigation found. Through phony internet accounts meant to impersonate Filipinos, the military's propaganda efforts morphed into an anti-vax campaign. Social media posts decried the quality of face masks, test kits, and the first vaccine that would become available in the Philippines, Chinese Sinovac inoculation. Reuters identified at least 300 accounts on X, formerly Twitter, that matched descriptions shared by former U.S. military officials familiar with the Philippines operation. Almost all were created in the summer of 2020 and centered on the slogan hashtag China Ang virus. Tagalog for China is the virus. Wow. So they're like, do you want that? COVID came from China and vaccines came from China. Beneath the message is a picture of then Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte, saying, China, prioritize us first, please. I'll give you more islands, Pogo, and black sand. Pogo refers to Philippine offshore gaming operators, online gambling companies that boomed during Duterte's administration. Black sand refers to a type of mining. Quote, COVID came from China and the vaccine also came from China. Don't trust China. One typical tweet from July 2020 read in Tagalog. The words were next to a photo of a syringe beside a Chinese flag and a soaring chart of infections. Another post read from China, PPE face mask vaccine, fake, but the coronavirus is real. I mean, this is crazy. This is like gaslighting upon gaslighting. I can't even with this article. After Reuters asked about the accounts, the social media company removed the profiles, determining they were part of a coordinated bot campaign based on activity patterns and internal data. I can't even. I can't even with this. So, anyway, this article goes on for quite a while. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. It's just, it's just more evidence that what happened to us in 2020 was a huge scam of magnificent proportions on the entire world. Okay, now let's go over while we're talking about what I affectionately refer to as the Schmid. Check this out. This is from Yahoo News. This came out on March 31st this is 2022. Oh, wait a minute. I thought this was more, uh, sorry, forget about that. This is about how CIA Director William Burns tested positive for COVID-19. But this is 2 years old, this article. I don't know why it came up. That's the problem with researching too, is that you try to get things that are recent, and then they throw in these really old articles just to confuse you. But it's funny because this article is about CIA Director William Burns testing positive for COVID after one day after meeting with Biden. So I thought it was recent because they keep telling us that Biden has COVID or just got over it or some crap like that. It said because the men practice social distancing and Burns wore an N95 mask, this is not considered a close contact for Biden, the CIA said in a statement. Biden is regularly tested for the virus and had a negative test on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Burns, 65, is experiencing mild symptoms. He's fully vaccinated and boosted, the CIA said, and will continue to work from home. That's funny. Vaccinated and boosted, but he still got it. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? All right, that was kind of a dud of an article. All right, but here's an article that I think everybody needs to know about. Tell me if you guys know about this. So, were you aware that stock for Trump's, I think for Truth Social, anyway, DJT stock was shorted by this company the day before President Trump got shot, almost like they knew what was going to happen. Here is an article from Watcher.guru. Yes, exactly. Look up Willie Brown, you guys. But we're moving on. We're moving on, Barbara. Get with the program, my friend. U.S. asset manager shorts Trump stock a day before assassination attempt. And now this is highly suspect. And this goes back to the show that I just did before this, that I had to stop prematurely because of the sunshine, but where I was talking about the ties to BlackRock and the money makers in this country that they had to Thomas Crooks, the shooter of President Trump. So, according to this article, the $1 billion asset manager Austin Private Wealth LLC, a financial planning firm in Texas, purchased put options worth 12 million shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, that's called on NASDAQ, DJT, a day before his assassination attempt. The short position by the asset management firm was taken on Friday, July 12, 2024, and was the largest among those listed. The second biggest firm that took a short position on DJT was Citadel, taking put options of 1.677 million shares. Austin Private Wealth's short position on DJT is more than 7 times bigger than Citadel. There might be nothing suspicious about the short position on DJT, as the market gets millions worth of it every day. It's just another day in the office, but the timing coincides with the assassination attempt. Trump's media firm is a reasonable target for short attempts due to its weak performance in the markets. Well, but not anymore. However, the put options caused Losses to Austin private wealth as Trump's media firm surged in the charts. After the assassination, DJT rose nearly 23%, touching a weekly high of more than $37 a share. DJT shares had closed at $30.89 on Friday's closing bell, but spiked in price from Monday onwards. So it gets even more interesting. Another interesting thing about the amendment filed on 7/16. Oh, so then the Austin private wealth, they did this put, and then they claim that, oh, it wasn't 12 million, it was 120,000. Like, they changed the number to be much smaller than it originally was. And then, claimed it was a mistake. And they don't really say that in this article, Watcher Guru. Let me see. I think I have another article about it too. Oh, yes, this is great. So this is from PolitiFact, and they're doing, fact checking. But I like to fact check through the fact checkers, because there's a lot of truth in their articles, and this one has a lot of truth in it too. Financial advisory company Austin Private Wealth shorted 12 million shares of Trump Media July 12th, the day before former President Donald Trump's attempted assassination. Now, they're saying that this is false, but the reason they're saying it's false is because, oh, it's not even 120,000 shares, it's 1,200 shares. Austin Private Wealth said the amount of shorted Trump Media shares reported in its July 12th filing was incorrect. The accurate holding amount was 1,200 shares, not 12 million. These guys are lying liars. After a gunman tried to assassinate, and they keep saying former President Donald Trump, but I've started hearing people calling him President Donald Trump. I don't know. Well, I do know. Just saying. Anyway, Austin Private Wealth shorted 12 million shares of Donald Trump stock on July 12th, according to a man in a July 21st Instagram post. In a July 18th Instagram post, a woman said, "Why did the firm Austin Private Wealth take a huge bet against Donald Trump stock the day before the assassination attempt? The firm just happens to be majority held by," get ready for it, BlackRock and Vanguard. But legal filings and a statement from the firm showed that the number of shares and the dates cited in this claim were inaccurate. Sure they were. Austin Private Wealth is an investment advisory company based in Austin, Texas. Securities and Exchange Commission records show that the firm filed a July 12th report that did show a put amount of $12 million on Trump Media and Technology Group Corp., or DJT. The report said the put was for the quarter that ended June 30th, several days before the assassination attempt. In a July 17th statement, Austin Private Wealth said the July 12th report reflected its positions on June 28th. A Business Insider article defined put options as contracts that allow investors to sell a specific number of securities at a predetermined price within a specified time frame. Traders typically buy them when they expect the stock's underlying assets to fall, according to Business Insider, which would have happened had President Trump been murdered. Buying put options is similar but different from short selling or shorting, where investors sell borrowed stocks in the hope of buying them back for a lower price. Austin Private Wealth statement said the amount of shorted Trump Media shares reported on the July 12th filing was incorrect, and that it was amended when the error was found. When was the error found? That indeed is the question. No client of APW holds or has ever held a put on DJT in the quantity initially reported. The correct holding amount was 12 contracts, or 1,200 shares, not 12 million shares, as was filed in error, its statement read. "We deeply regret this error and the concern it has caused, especially at such a fraught moment for our nation." The financial advisory company added that a third-party vendor increased the number of shares by a multiple of 10,000 for DJT and other contracts, an error that was not caught before the filing. Oh, and I'll bet if President Trump had been killed and the stock would have netted them a huge windfall. We wouldn't hear anything about this now, would we? No, we would not. The report was amended July 16th, but the Trump media put options were absent in the amended filing. In a published FAQ, the company said the total holdings of the underlying stock and related options were below the de minimis amount or threshold for actual reporting after the error was corrected. Oh boy, that's convenient, isn't it? Securities and Exchange Commission rules state that for Form 13F, that one Austin Private Wealth filed, the one that they filed, a manager may choose not to report holdings of less than 10,000 shares. The company told PolitiFact in an email that it did not short, sell, or buy put options of Trump Media shares between June 28th and July 13th. In response to claims that Austin Private Wealth is majority held by BlackRock and Vanguard, the company told PolitiFact Austin Private Wealth is a firm owned solely by individual partners based in Austin. BlackRock and Vanguard are not and never have been shareholders, so they've debunked that, supposedly. Austin Private Wealth did not short 12 million shares of Trump Media the day before President Trump was targeted in an assassination attempt. They say that claim is false, but something definitely happened. They say it was a mistake. What do you guys think? I think not. I think there are no mistakes going on here. And while we're talking about BlackRock, oh, Linda says here, Brandon's so-called Dr. Ron O'Connor was arrested and said he hasn't treated him. Oh, we're going to look up that one next. Okay, but before we get there, here's an article from Fortune. The headline is World's Largest Money Manager, BlackRock, hits record 10.6 trillion, and it's thanks to ETFs, CEO Larry Fink says. Now, one of the reasons why I'm very focused on Larry Fink is because I have a great concern. I have heard that President Trump is thinking of actually putting him in his administration as like the head of the Fed or something like that. And I thought the Federal Reserve was actually private, and I didn't think that anybody like really appointed people to the Fed. I could be wrong, but I think putting Larry Fink in charge of anything is a huge flipping mistake because he is the corporatocracy. So if President Trump, and I am concerned in a lot of ways about the people that are surrounding President Trump right now, including there's another name that I'm researching that is making my blood run cold, and that name is Peter Thiel. And, you know, one of the reasons that President Trump picked J.D. Vance was because of this billionaire named Peter Thiel. He is married to a man, let's just put it that way. Peter Thiel has his fingers in a lot of political pies. And I think he is someone to be watched. And I think that J.D. Vance is even Hulk Hogan is involved with Peter Thiel. Like all these people that we saw at the RNC are involved with this Peter Thiel character. I'm very concerned about it, and I hope that President Trump knows what he's doing. I hope this is part of joining the swamp, because if it's going the way that it's like kind of looks like it's going, then I don't know. I'm gonna vote for myself for president. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. It's scary. I mean, we can't have Obama for sure. We don't want to be communist. And then, and if President Trump like throws us to the corporatocracy lions, then we're screwed in that case too. And I can't understand why he would do that. All right, let me read this article to you. BlackRock Inc. hauled in $51 billion of client cash to its long-term investment funds in the second quarter, pushing the world's largest money manager to a record $10.6 trillion of assets. Investors added $83 billion to ETFs and $35 billion to fixed income overall, New York-based BlackRock said Monday in a statement. And this was... I think this is a very recent article. I think it was from this past Monday. Investors added 83 billion to ETFs and 35 billion to fixed income overall. Okay. Organic growth was driven by private markets, retail active fixed income, and surging flows in our ETFs, which had their best start to a year on record, Chief Executive Officer Larry Fink said in the statement. The company also had $30 billion in net flows to cash management and money market funds in the period. This is so much money. I can't even imagine how much money this is and who like lives with this kind of money. It's so crazy when you think about people like you and me who are literally, I don't know about you, but I'm living paycheck to paycheck and I don't even have a paycheck. So it's a bit of a problem. However, that's why I've got a new book coming out, not just to sustain myself, which of course I've got bills that I got to pay just like everybody else, but I am an author, I'm a journalist, I write things, and I would like to get paid for my work. So I will be selling my new book soon, and that's going to be a really big deal. The proof is coming out on Wednesday, so stay tuned. Wednesday is going to be a super, super exciting day for me, or it could be a day of great frustration if my proof doesn't look exactly like I hope it will look. So there's that. Hi, Bama Gator. I know I'm MAGA all the way, but I am very concerned about these people buzzing around President Trump right now with names like Peter Thiel, Larry Fink. Um, just the name BlackRock makes my blood run cold. Vanguard, all this stuff. It's really creepy and crazy. And if you are watching all the different, let's say, theories, and I'm not going to call them conspiracy theories, but I mean, everything's a dang conspiracy these days, right? But if you are paying attention, BlackRock and Larry Fink are involved in the President Trump shooting, whether peripherally or directly, not quite sure right now. However, the two are very connected. And that's out there. It's out there. It's not just me. Do your own homework. All right. Well, I've had enough of this crazy news today, but what I do want you guys to think about is making your lives better. And how do you do that? Well, I've discovered something that I'm doing to make my life better, and I want to share it with you. So there's two people in this world that I most love and I want to take care of the most, and that would be Jesus and my future self. Not myself right now, what I'm doing right now, but what I'm doing right now is all in service to my future self. You sometimes hear that it's like maybe it's selfish to take care of yourself. That is not true. If you don't take care of yourself, then you are doing a disservice not just to yourself, but everybody else who may be depending on you. Even if nobody's depending on you, you still have to take care of yourself so that you are not depending on others. Um, Part of taking care of yourself is taking care of your future self. So, and you can be involved in yourself either for tomorrow or the next 10 years. The way that you do it is you think about what is my big dream and my goal for myself in the future. And I'm just going to take 10 years as an example. So I'm 58 years old right now. I'm going to be 59 in November, and in 10 years I will be looking down the barrel at becoming 70. Now I'm looking at 60, and that is crazy and scary enough, but looking at becoming 70 is, oh my goodness. So I know a lot of people in their 70s and they are vibrant, healthy, beautiful people living their best lives. And that's what I want for myself. And so, one of the ways to take care of my future self, of course, is to exercise. Every time I exercise now, I'm actually taking care of my future self. So, that's one super easy, great way to take care of your future self. I mean, you think about who you are now and think about who you were 10 years ago. And if you're not as healthy or even healthier than you were 10 years ago, then quite frankly, you're doing it wrong. Aging doesn't mean that you have to get old and sick. It doesn't mean that at all. You can get better and you can learn new things. And your brain has something called what is it? Uh, Fluid? No, what's the word? Elasticity or something like that. Anyway, your brain is amazing and you can learn new things. And there are people that start new careers in their twilight years and do all sorts of exciting things well into their 70s, 80s, 90s, and even people who make it to 100. In fact, and I will say one thing I also wanted to talk about was the Olympics. But there was a man, he lit the Olympic torch and he had just celebrated his 100th birthday. So that was super inspiring and it's great to, I mean, he was in a wheelchair, but you know, I hope that when I'm 100 I'm able to walk. That's a really great wish for me, is to not ever lose my mobility. I think that that would be just awful, but you know, if it should happen, I hope that I would deal with it in a way that would be healthy, because some people don't deal with change at all. And that's another thing about preparing yourself for your future self, is that you do have to be willing to be that elastic brain. You have to be willing to accept change. You have to be willing even to embrace change and to look forwards to the change. And don't be afraid of anything, because you know fear will hold you back. Instead, when you feel that feeling that feels like fear, you know you can turn it into excitement. So be excited about getting older. Be excited about the future and what it might hold for you, because it doesn't have to be a nursing home in your future. It doesn't have to be, you know, just being alone or sadness or anything like that. Make it so that it's great. And the way that you do that is by every day, right now, preparing for your future self. Whether that's exercising, eating right. You know, I mean, if you're going to indulge in ice cream or you're eating it every night, you know, just look at it and be like, is this what I want for my future self? You know, is diabetes something that I want to deal with in the future? No? Well, then maybe I shouldn't eat sugar anymore. You know, it's habits. It's all about habits and changing your habits. So adopt some healthier habits that will make life better for you in the future. All right, that's my advice for today. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about the Olympics. Just quick. I've never liked the Olympics, ever. I never like any kind of sport. So that's me. I don't like game playing. I don't like football. I don't like baseball. I do kind of enjoy hockey, but that's kind of like a thing my dad liked. So, you know, it's nostalgic for me, the hockey thing. But other than that, I don't like competitive sports. Just don't. It just rubs me the wrong way. It seems like it's so like people are like, oh, they go crazy over the prowess and the ability to run faster, jump higher. You know, like, oh my gosh, that's something that you know, I just want to be able to walk without falling, and I do that pretty well. So I'm okay at the moment. But you know, watching people lose their mobility, watching my rate lose his mobility was very hard. So yeah, I can see you guys are also saying mobility is definitely the key, and you have to keep your bones strong. Anyway, back to the Olympics. So people are going crazy over the Olympics. It looks like they're mocking Jesus. And they say they're not mocking Jesus, that they're just going back to ancient Greece when they were super hedonistic. And I guess everybody was having threesomes and dressing like the opposite sex and doing all the things that they're doing today. So I don't know. I don't know. It's rubbing normal people the wrong way. It's not making, you know, if you're not into that kind of thing, seeing it in front of kids. I mean, the Olympics are supposed to be family friendly entertainment. And, you know, yeah, Holly, it looks sacrilegious, and but they're saying, oh no, it's not. It's really just ancient Greece, and we're just talking about, you know, the beginnings of the Olympic Games, and that's how they were. that's what their excuse is. And they're saying that the Last Supper scene that people are freaking out about was really something called Dionysus. I don't know how to say it, and that it's something like the god of wine. But guess what? Worshiping other gods, false idols, that is completely unchristian, and not Jewish either. And I am a Messianic Jew, so I'm going to say I don't cater to any of that crap at all. And they even had one guy with his stuff hanging out of his shorts, and kids are looking at that. So I think it's about time that we put an end to these ceremonies that they keep rolling out for us. I mean, it reminded me actually of the Christmas display at the House of Whiteness that the Bidens had regaled us with this past Christmas. That literally looked like, I don't know. It was just it was gross. Let's just put it this way. It was really gross. And then on Easter, they told us that was the trans day of visibility. And we were supposed to accept it because it just fell on Easter. It falls on the same day every year, and Easter doesn't fall on the same day every year. So it just happened to fall on the same day. So we're going to celebrate the trans day of visibility instead of Easter, or both at the same time. I don't know. Either way, none of that works for me. So they're really twisting themselves into pretzels here to show us the alternative way of life, and I'm not into it. And if you're not into it, then I think you should not watch it. I think we should boycott this kind of thing. I understand that their stocks fell right after everybody started calling them out for the looking like a depiction of the Last Supper, and they came back with it's not, but we apologize. We caught you. We know what you're really up to. You can pretend all you want and tell us it's this or that or the other thing, but we know the truth when you are mocking us and you are trying to make us feel like we don't have the right to be who we are because we somehow are disparaging your rights to pretend that you are something that you aren't. I'm just saying, honest people do not dress up and pretend to be something they're not. I wear my MAGA hat because I'm ultra MAGA. This is who I am. I am Make America Great Again. And it's not even so much about President Trump, although I love him. I love what he's doing. But like I said, I am very concerned about his relationships with the BlackRock CEO and all of them, JD Vance. They all really give me pause and worry me. I just hope he knows what he's doing, because I don't want to go for another 4 years with a bunch. Like, look at Christopher Wray. Seriously, that was something else I wanted to talk about quickly. I'm like so on a roll today. Christopher Wray telling all of us that he's not sure President Trump was shot with a bullet is like the ultimate in gaslighting. It's right up there with them telling us, oh my gosh, there's red ants on me now. Good Lord. I hate these ants. Them telling me that, or telling all of us that Kamala was never the border czar, that we dreamed that in some kind of a weird dream sequence that, I don't know. It's just so crazy, right? It's like that didn't happen, but it did. I don't know. It's called gaslighting. It's what narcissists do. There's ants on me. It's what narcissists. I'm strong though. I lived on a farm for a couple of years, and believe me, a bunch of red ants. That's nothing. I used to be terrified of them. Now I just don't. I'm like, just get off. Anyway, yeah. So they're trying to they treat us like a narcissist, like a bad relationship. That's what we're in. We're in a really bad relationship right now. So anyway, I got to get out of here. I don't want to be around these red ants anymore. So I got to go. Anyway, I'm so glad we had this time together. A little shout out to Carol Burnett. Ciao for now, and arrivederci. See you on the next Beach Report. Have a great day, guys.